Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Free Agents podcast. Back for some more pre-agents talking through part 2 of the Inferno 2. Episodes 7 through 12. 3 more rounds of eliminations to get to here today as we work our way through a very drama-filled, exciting, crazy season, to say the least. Of course, I am Matt here as always with Brian Scally. Scally, what's up?
Hello. I'm so good. I'm so excited. I watched all of these episodes on my plasma television, so I'm very
Oh,
no, I am I feel well prepared.
those TVs. Well, actually, no, I don't think it was a plasma TV necessarily. Just like the ones that had like the giant boxes that had like almost like a projector screen, crazy big. What were we
Those
doing?
were enormous. Yeah, I think that was the thing is I think these were potentially flat screens, which the look, we usually check in on the prizes, but these plasmas, everyone was like, absolutely not throwing the challenge today. We are winning these plasma TVs, absolutely obsessed with. Oh my god, they were losing their minds
Yeah.
over a 42-inch flat screen.
I mean, I would too if this was that time.
Sure.
Like, has anyone out there? Have you ever tried to move one of the big box TVs? Like, not even the one like the one I was just describing, just like the regular giant box, like
Yeah.
3 pounds.
Yeah, it was just very funny for
Yeah,
like no one even says plasma TV anymore.
that
Like that's
would be
that's not
funny.
a thing. Yeah, so
So yeah, again, a crazy bunch of episodes to get into today. Before we do so, just quickly checking back on part 1, episodes 1 through 6. We didn't get to the confessional counts last time, and it's
ooh.
always interesting to just poke our head into what the numbers are looking like so far. I will say, no surprise, certainly at the top of the list. If it's not Coral, who's not here this season, it's Mike the Miz, firmly at the top with his 25 confessionals.
Yeah, the Miz stays talking. I don't really know what the Miz is saying all of the time. I think back and I'm like, huh, did the Miz talk that much? But I guess he did.
He did. He's saying something. And then down at the bottom of the list, you have a couple people that are certainly standing out. We have Shavonda with only 5 confessionals and Jamie with only 6 confessionals. Above that, you have some people with 7, 9, 10. But I would say the trend that we've unfortunately noticed over these early seasons is continuing here with, again, Jamie and Shavonda.
Yeah, Jamie's being 4200000. Like, okay. Is Jamie on the show? I would like to confirm.
Yeah. As soon as we got to episode 7, I think she had a confessional like relatively early on. I was like, okay, so she is still here. But through these 6 episodes, yeah, that's where we are. Not a whole lot of intrigue in the middle. I guess the only other thing that really caught my eye was right underneath Mike the Miz was Beth with her 19 confessionals, and pretty higher, a little bit of a higher average as she is only in 5 of the 6 episodes in the first round. But that's not going
It's
to
true.
last. She's gone. So,
Very true.
so we'll check back in if we remember. I think we will after these 6 episodes. So let's get into them. We left off after a couple of eliminations last time with John Brennan, Robin, Karamo are out. This next round here, 2 episodes to get to the elimination of one Jody.
Yeah, Jody. I feel like she's had a little bit of her head popping up this season, but definitely not to the extent that she does in these 2 episodes where all of the sudden we get a little are Miz and Jody a thing?
Who isn't a thing with Miz on a challenge season? Is the real connection here though between the Miz and Jody, or between like Jody and the concrete floor? Because she is dropping down to that floor 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 times an episode. Just we're gonna get into all of like the emotional states that she finds herself in through, I would say, the ups and the downs, but it's a lot more downs. And I literally mean down because she's constantly plopping to the ground.
Yeah, whether she is losing a bet, so she's stripping naked to get into a pool and hiding, so she drops down to the floor, or she is just absolutely distraught. She's dropping to the floor. You never know with Jody.
Well, let's start with the stripping and getting into the pool because I felt like I shouldn't be watching this. You certainly shouldn't have been watching this when you were sneaking television at a young age. But I felt like even at my age right now, I shouldn't be watching this. This was like, maybe like a little bit more too intimate than I usually expect because you could just like see the horniness radiating off of Mike the Miz.
Yeah, I was surprised that that towel was not tenting as he was holding it up because the Miz is very, very much like, well, a bet is a bet. Like, we got to get the bet. This is your bet, not mine. Like, okay, Miz, like, we get it.
Yeah, she apparently lost some kind of bet with the card game that they were playing and said that she would strip butt naked to get into the pool. And I specifically say the phrase butt naked because Mike says it about 7 times to reinforce to Jody that because she lost this bet, she needs to go get butt naked and jump into the pool. So she does. And eventually Mike brings her a towel to get out of the pool, but he's standing, of course, like 2 feet away from the pool to make sure he gets a nice, good view as she gets out. And she does. And it's like flirtatious, like fun banter between the two of them. But again, I felt like it was not for me to watch.
I don't think it ever like really crosses a line. I would say we get more nudity in some more challenges coming forward. We have, I would say, more romantic scenes. So it's just maybe the combination.
Yeah. Well, again, doesn't go anywhere too crazy as far as we know between these two crazy kids. Speaking of Jody, she's also been good friends with another person on this season. That's not Mike. That's Derek. Not a whole lot to really get into about like the backstory there. But well, actually, the obvious backstory is that they are from the same season of Road
Yeah.
Rules. So that's
Yeah.
obviously a thing.
They're two of
But
only
it's coming
like
into play
three.
here.
They're like two of like only I think like 3 people that are on the Road Rule season from the beginning all the way till the end. So they are very, very close. It's funny they're like kissing each other on the lips. I was like, okay, sure.
And Derek's just like, yeah, me and Jody are good friends. So good to know. But that's going to come into play as we get deeper into this round. There's some stuff with Tanya and some of the women, but there's so much more to come with that later. So I think we can circle back around. Our first challenge of the episode, fill in the gaps.
Yes, fill in the gaps. They have to stand there using their bodies to plug up a whole bunch of holes in a wall that water is leaking through. Whoever's water runs out the fastest loses between 2 heats. And the good guys are just not really good at plugging these holes.
No. Speaking of the horniness that seems to, will always exist in a challenge house. This isn't new or surprising, but the only highlight here for me was really the conversation with CT trying to coach his team on how to plug up the holes. And he suggests that they use their breasts to, put one on 2 different holes and go from there. And Dan calls him out. I think it was mostly in confessional about how CT just constantly thinks with his penis, no matter what is happening any time of day. And again, it's a challenge house, so all of them do.
Yeah, this like is maybe one of the least sexual challenges that they've competed in, and yet CT constantly excited.
Very much so. But this is going to be a victory for CT and his badasses team. So I guess that strategy might have worked. But anything else stand out to you from this? Of course, just, some humor of watching them all try to plug up the holes that they can't reach them all. So water is just flying out everywhere. And yeah.
No, I think it was silly. It was fun. Like I don't know. I think it brings something back like this ish.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
an
think
elimination.
it would be more fun if it was like actually possible to plug up every single hole. And so, it's like, how long can you hold it in that spot kind of thing. It's just like, I don't know. It felt kind of silly to be, or hard for us to be tracking like exactly how the water was coming out more for one team than the other, but no big deal.
I think an elimination of this could be good.
I think so too. Maybe combine it somehow with like the All Stars 5, Ashley and Anissa.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something there. Water,
I see it. I see
Um,
it.
It's a women's day for elimination. Again, obviously that's how Jody's going to go. But Scally, these nominations are quite the controversy.
Yeah, they get called into question where there is, Jody saying she would rather go against Veronica or Tina or Tanya than Rachel or Tina. But then the good guys realize, okay, Tanya's our nomination. But if someone gets nominated that would rather go against, let's say, Veronica, you can just change it at the last minute.
Simple as that. Well, why not? This is obviously long before the days of locking this kind of stuff in with a producer or something beforehand. You know, when people don't vote in front of each other, whatever the case is, there's mechanisms that are in place much more probably today than maybe there were in this season. But also sometimes where it's not. Either way, they played the game that was in front of them, and it's very funny because as this goes down, that's exactly what happens. Jody is the first name to get said by the badasses. They think that she's the stronger player on their team, so let's try to take her out of the game while we can. And then Jody is going to, in turn, say Veronica instead of Tanya, and just all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think they think that Jody is who their team thinks is the strongest player, though they acknowledge she hasn't really come through quite as much as you would think she might have. She's also very likely to get shaken if nominated. So when they nominate Jody, they think she's going to fall apart. It kind of seems like it's actually the badasses who fall apart much more when Veronica's name gets called.
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of both. Falling apart in two different ways. Again, Jody will be falling to the floor many times, just overwhelmed
Yeah.
by the emotion. But the badasses fall apart as far as just like it's just chaos.
It's not until I would say it's not the domination that makes Jody fall apart. It is everything that comes after that. When they find out that the good guys switch their vote at the last second, Rachel is on a warpath. How dare you send her bestie Veronica in by cheating? This is not going to stand. They actually are just yelling and screaming, and Dan gets involved. He tells Jody that he thought he was the biggest B word in this house. So, yeah, Jody is getting it from all sides.
Dan, especially, Dan's going to be an interesting character every time we do or don't touch on him throughout the section or the rest of the season, because he is both very funny in his confessionals and also can be very mean. He's
Very
trying to
mean.
be one of the mean girls, and I get it, but it's coming across mean.
Yeah,
So,
I would say that's been Dan. Like, he's gonna be funny, funny, funny. Oh, Dan, calm down.
yeah.
Like,
Like, ooh, that one hurt.
Even back to
Yeah.
his real world season, from what I know of him.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we're all it all tracks here, but yeah, he is calling Jody out, saying she's manipulating everybody here, calling her out because she says that he's like, well, Mike doesn't like you enough, and so you're walking around with these puppy dog eyes and all of this stuff. And the whole team admits, I think Tina is like one of the narrators here, saying we are trying to beat her down mentally because we know she can't handle the pressure, and then she'll collapse in the elimination. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And even Derek is just like, Jody, I didn't think you would do something like that. Like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed in you, Jody. And that, I think, is what really ruins Jody. She's on the ground, just like, I can't believe I disappointed Derek.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely hurt her more than she was expecting. Funny with all this, though, again, that Veronica is like, I'm the gamer here. What do you mean they all like figured out a loophole in the game on me? So, interesting to hear her from that perspective. And the first episode of this batch ends with Veronica and Rachel like yelling out, like, so much for being on the nice team. You'll be on the naughty one next time.
Yeah, I mean, when Rachel drops the R word, I think that point is kind of negated. So, like, maybe you're sticking on the naughty one over there, Rachel. So, I would do think it also is a little bit funny when Jody's like, I hate conflict. I try to avoid this. And I was like, why do you keep coming on MTV shows? Like, why are you here?
Good question. Veronica also had the idea of should I go throw all of her pools, all of her clothes in the pool right now? Should I, is that the move out here this season? And of course, Dan again trying to audition for the Mean Girls here is going to offer to let me go get them for you if you really want me to. So yeah, and Jody's being comforted this whole time by her team, by everybody that is doing their best to calm her down. Shavonda, the Miz, Darrell, Brad. I was like, wow, look at all this like era one bonding for like the season 40 era one team that's all here, at least in Brad and Darrell and Jody. Some real early connection here. But let's see if anybody can win some what are they called? Lifesavers to save ourselves from this elimination. We're going to play a challenge called Zip Up, where they are basically going the wrong way up a zip line.
Yeah, they're actually called life shields this season, but that's fine. So
What do they call it?
lifesavers.
Oh, yeah, good
Look, they
point.
switch it up. It's confusing,
I
but
don't know if they ever
zip up.
called it a lifesaver. Maybe I'm just looking for a
No, they
snack.
did. They did. They did.
Okay.
It gets called like five different things over the course. I don't know why they do this, but with the challenge zip up, they have to pull themselves up this wire that raises at a steady incline, and for the most part, people are getting around the same point. I would say most people are getting between 15 and 20 meters, and I would say that all of a sudden you have a couple standouts. It's really like Derek hits 26, Brad hits 28, Landon hits 33.5. It's like, oh, maybe Landon is the strongest man on the team.
Yeah, it just might be.
This might be.
And well, so much more talked about for Landon as we get a little farther into
Yep.
this. But yeah, there's intrigue here about how well everybody performs, specifically the people that are trying to get the life shields. You have all three of the mean girls that are going for it to potentially save Veronica and throw Tanya into this elimination, because that's what was supposed to happen in the first place. And as we're going to get to, it's really just at this point the three of the mean girls, Veronica, Tina, and Rachel versus Tanya. So there's intrigue about that. And just some other funny moments along the way. Julie in this challenge, did you get down the line that she had?
Oh, I did not write down the whole line.
She was excited for this challenge because as you're climbing up the zip line, you're moving on up. She said she likes being closer to God.
Yeah, likes being higher, closer to God. And then, like, as she's going, I don't remember exactly what she was chanting the whole time, but it's like, please, Jesus, give me the strength to get up this rope. Like the entire time, so loud, and everyone's like, what is going on?
Yeah. So the good guys team, including Julie, were not doing so great, but eventually they turn it around and get the win here. As you talked about, Landon does very well. CT gets the badasses life shield. CT probably, if I had to guess, has the most life shields of anybody through the series so far.
Yeah, not close. It's so many. I mean, he has won what I would say in the course of the episodes that we have watched so far, he has won 4 out of 5.
Yeah. And just going back to like the last season he was on, there was a couple there too. So he
Yep.
is just dominating, which is also not surprising at CT. Even early days, CT was just as strong as he has been throughout most of his career when he's not hitting people, but that will come in due
Yep.
time. So there's also one more interesting matchup, at least in here, where Jody and Veronica face off. They're all going one at a time against somebody from the other team, and it ends up being Jody and Veronica that were paired up. And so it's like, ooh, a preview of the Inferno tonight. If things stay the same, turns out that they will stay the same. But Jody wins this matchup. Veronica claims she didn't try very hard, and Veronica's actually happy that this happened this way, so that Jody feels confident going into tonight.
Can you imagine Tanya coming down from that wire and being like, I didn't even try up there. Like, I didn't care about this challenge at all. Like, they would have beat Tanya's ass. And yet Veronica is like, who cares? I didn't do this challenge on purpose. I didn't try. None of this was important to me.
It's also, I mean, like, look, is it just saying that after the fact, after you
Yes.
lost? Yeah. It's just like, come on, come on, love you, but come on.
I don't blame her. Psych out Jody.
Yeah, and hey, kind of works. Or whether that's the exact thing that works or not. We're gonna get to the Inferno and have this matchup come to fruition. Jody, who was called out by the badasses, and Veronica, who was called out specifically by Jody, not by the whole team. They are going to face off, and I believe it's called "That's a Wrap." Spin around in a bunch of, I don't know if it was toilet paper or something
It looks like
similar.
gauze.
Gauze. And then once you have it all wrapped around your body, run over, grab your flag, and lock in your win. And I got to say, going into this, because I really have been doing a good job of like not knowing what the results are, even if I know like kind of the results of the season. I thought
Mhm.
Jody had this.
So did Jody.
Yeah.
So did Jody. But yet, it's just not coming on as smoothly for Jody. Veronica looks like a nicely, tightly wrapped mummy, whereas
Well,
Jody is just
yes, mother.
kind of flailing. And it seems like Jody blames this maybe on production setup, maybe on whatever, but I don't know if she just has the wrong technique, if she's not staying like on point as much as she has, and so it's wrapping around much looser. But she ends up falling to the ground, and once she falls, it's almost impossible for her to get back up in a fast enough time.
Yeah, what did I say? Jody loves falling to the ground, sometimes emotionally, sometimes it just happens here. Meanwhile, you have Dan yelling out, "Karma's a bitch."
Oh,
Um,
they taunt her so hard. When Jody loses this, it's like, you got what you deserve. This is what you wanted, you loser. Like, oh.
yeah, it's not just the fact that Jody lost, but of course, like for Tina and Rachel, it's the fact that they got their, best friend back. And so just all of this combined, and for Dan too, he's a big Rachel guy. It's tough. It's really tough. Jody's going to get a couple of good goodbyes from her team, of course, especially from like Derek and whatnot. But she walks away. She's like, I really need my team to do well because I fucking hate everybody on the other team. So.
Oh, Jody. Yeah, look, I think Jody will come back and have a decent time on the challenge. But for me, watching Road Rules, I always was like, Jody is a good competitor. I don't know how much she is built for the challenge in other terms, but she adapts at least.
She does, and she obviously shows enough here that they are interested in having her back. She will be back on 2 of the next 3 seasons, so plenty more Jody to come in the immediate future. And then, of course, as we know, even more to come as we are into modern day challenges. So
It's true.
you think she's on All Star 6?
Ooh,
It's like totally on the line. Like it easily could happen.
I'm gonna go no.
No,
I
but
think
like,
they're gonna trend even more new, and that's gonna mean no.
but would you say we've seen the last of Jody?
Also, no.
Yeah, I feel like at least one. It's just we're cycling around so much with these old school players, and the amount of people that I guess they have maintained relationships with and that have said yes. I feel like it's a smaller pool, so I don't think it's a goodbye forever at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see. Let's so again, a lot happening with the women on the Badasses team, but specifically as we get into the next round, Tina has been like quietly causing some controversy all around. Dan is pissed at her. She's apparently the one that's causing drama with the Mike and Abram alliance that does or doesn't exist. She's been just as messy as the next person.
Okay. Yes, she's openly saying it. It is funny that I think this is one of like 5 out of the 6 episodes that all open with like, so everyone's really drunk and acting crazy.
Yes.
That is the opener here, to where Dan is talking to Abram about how ridiculous it is that everyone thinks Abram and the Miz have an alliance. Why would anyone think that? Obviously, that's not true. To which Abram says, yeah, that's stupid. I'm just never going to vote for him because I like him and he's my friend. And like, he probably won't vote for me either. We don't have an alliance.
No, not at all. We'll see how this non-alliance between the two of them, can maintain itself as we get into the rest of this round. But yeah, Tina's just stirring that up. She's stirring things up again. Dan on her own team has been getting pissed off at her, is constantly like kind of trying to get her to not talk at so many different times when she is being loud. So that's going to happen as we get into the next challenge, and just, Tina being Tina.
Oh, Tina.
But I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like, when do we actually get into the Tanya of it all? I mean, there is obviously a pretty important scene here.
That's up to you. I think we could just talk about Tanya all at once.
All right. Yeah, we can kind of circle back. All right, yeah, let's circle back. This isn't even exactly the women's round, which it's like they were giving us so many teasers throughout these couple of episodes, that you would think it's like, oh, is this Tanya's boot episode? Like, what's going on here? But it's really like, I guess, just been an important story that's going on in the house, and so there are plenty to tell us about. Anyway. Never Ending Climb is going to be the next one here, which I will say for me was very misleading as to what this challenge was going to be, just based on the look of like a very, very tall crane. They didn't go as high as they thought they were.
Yeah, they are set up with a multi-tiered climbing obstacle. They have to decide who's going to climb to the top, who's going to climb to the middle. They have to collect like 5, they call them tokens. They're like strings of beads, like very thick beads, and bring them down to the bottom. And it is interesting in that you can be disqualified if you go too fast and fall off, if you drop a bead, etc. And so there's a lot of argument over who's going to go in which order.
I also have a question for you. So I feel like some people were taking a long time, potentially longer than 5 minutes. And then the penalty, if you got DQ'd, was that you just get a score of 5 minutes. So
I think that no, I don't even know what the penalty was, honestly, because no one gets fully DQ'd. I don't know if it was, I think it was, so the timing was like the clock just kept going as
yeah.
everyone climbed. So it wasn't that someone was getting 40 minutes. It's like the team was at 40 minutes overall. And so I think it was 5 minutes added onto the total team's time.
So I will say I did also have that confusion. Eventually I figured that out because like you said, like the clock was running on the screen and it was showing like Tanya at 15 minutes. And I was like, of course they're going to give her a hard time over this. And then I realized it was the cumulative time. But still, it still seemed like some people were going longer than 5 minutes. And I could swear that they said that it was a 5 minute penalty if you got DQ'd, whatever, not important. But I mean, speaking of Tanya, as we were just saying, she feels like she did a pretty good job. The rest of the women on her team don't think so, and so she doesn't get a nice warm reception as she gets down. She needs to be comforted a little bit by Dan when she is going through it.
Well, is it Tanya apparently has a rock climbing wall in her backyard. So she's like, I can do well. Dan as well thought that he was well suited for this mission. And you had people like Tina who maybe think they know best at all times and don't let other people speak. So we see Dan and Tina getting into quite a few arguments over this. And so when Tanya does step up, insist on going at a higher placement, they are going to, rip on her a little bit, despite the fact that she does very well, just because, well, like, obviously it's going to take her longer. She's going much higher than any of you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just more on that as again, we will circle back to this drama. But the good guys don't have a whole lot going on. Mike falls at one point, but recovers and gets his tokens just fine. Julie goes up and she's again dropping frickin', to which Rachel makes some jokes about it's how it sounds like some curse words are coming out of, Miss Religion mouth. I don't know, trying to think of a nicer way to phrase that.
Julie is usually able to overcome her fear of heights, but for whatever reason, she says today her heart is not in it. Her head is with her husband. She is just thinking about home. And so Julie's really struggling. She is freaking out, kind of almost implying that she doesn't know she's going to be able to do it at all, but she manages.
Any like in particular thoughts on the fact that I feel like this is the second or third season, if not more, I don't know how many Julie's at this point, where she is really regarded as like the strong, like the top strong woman on her team.
I mean, it's not something I remembered in my first watch. I'm being reminded, but at the same time, like, kind of who else would it be on the team?
Yeah, I guess Jody, but they're all talking about how Jody buckles under pressure. We don't know anything about Jamie and Shavonda at this point. We see Jamie get a little bit of a highlight in like one of the final two challenges of this batch, where she does poorly and everyone's like, "Oh, we love you, Jamie." Like, so I guess and Robin's gone, so Robin could have had that spot.
Yeah, no, I do think that Julie is generally regarded as a pretty strong competitor. I think that she has a little bit of she's going to do it even if it's dangerous and is not super worried about it. So I don't know what it is. She's also just going to do anything it takes to win, obviously, even if that is killing someone on a high wire across two buildings. So
yeah,
I think Julie is just a competitor. She's ultra competitive. She wants to win. She is decently physical, but I think it's the competitiveness that maybe brings her the step above everybody else.
Yeah, fair enough. CT had a I love back seats shirt in this challenge, which I wanted to flag up. Of course, the Veronica and Rachel t-shirt line delivering to everybody, including Tanya. Even despite the drama, Tanya is wearing one of the future MILFs shirts later on. So
Yeah, she is wearing like their merch every single episode, despite despising them.
yes. So there's that. The this challenge here, though, the good guys win by just a few minutes, and so we're going to go into another round of nominations for a men's elimination day. The good guys are going to be selecting from the badass team. Of course, they end up picking Abram. Again, just looking for a strong player to go out, and then on the badass team, a little bit more of intrigue as to who's ultimately going to get picked, because some people do and some people don't want to say the Miz's name, but ultimately he is going to be the one that gets selected.
Yep. So early in the episode, Brad was like, Miz, they're going to give you a break. They're not going to keep going for you. And it does seem like that at times. There's a little bit of a spat again between Dan and Tina, where he's like, Tina, this is a men's elimination day. You have no say. Be quiet. She's like, okay, well, you had a lot of opinions in the women's elimination day. So these two are just not getting along.
No.
And it is definitely coming to a head here regardless. We're getting a rematch of the gauntlet. Miz versus Abram should be happening.
Yeah, this whole story that they've had all season has been about this alliance and friendship. And, okay, fine, Abram, it's not an alliance, but you're very good friends and you don't want to see him go home. So it's obviously something. But as of right now, those are the two names that do get selected. Abram doesn't vote for Mike. Neither does, I believe, Dan was the one that was also, pushing against that with what Tina was pushing for. So yeah, we'll see if this matchup actually comes to be, or if one of these guys can win a life shield. More Tanya, Mean Girl stuff. We'll come back to it.
Should we? I feel like this is probably the highlight of it.
Oh, sure, we can get into it.
I feel like let's just dive into Tanya. Let's talk about all of it because there's so much. There is discussion of how Tanya and the Mean Girls are starting to not get along. This is really highlighted when the Mean Girls, aka Rachel, Veronica, and Tina, are looking through what seems to be Tanya's modeling book. And they're like, oh, look at this photo. You look so retouched in this photo. Oh my God, and look at this one. Your legs are not that long. It's like every single photo, they find things to just pick apart and laugh at. And, oh, Tanya, like, this is so silly.
Yeah, and we, of course, like last season, where we were, every time I think back to last season, I'm like, what the hell were the storylines? What was going on there? In Battle of the Sexes too. But one of the big ones, and Tina and Tanya both end up on the Mount Rushmore of the season for us, was the beef between them. And then sometimes the beef was gone and sometimes it was back. And so this season, I think Tina mentioned it in one of the early episodes, but then again, it's gone. And now with all of this happening and Tina being backed up by Rachel and Veronica, it is back. So exactly what you just talked about is, one of the main factors that we are shown into how this relationship between these three, the Mean Girls, I'm going to keep calling them that, somewhat affectionately most of the time, and Tanya, not good. But there was a scene that we passed over earlier, of course, where Tanya is they're all like having breakfast or something, and they're talking about each other's personal lives back home, childhoods, and all that stuff. And Tanya tells us in confessional, she was like really hoping that people weren't going to come to her and ask her because it's not a topic she likes to talk about, but they do. And she mentions basically she had a rough childhood. She went from foster home to foster home, and it's a quick scene, but as Jamie highlights in confessional, also it's helping them and us understand Tanya a little bit better.
Yeah, I think she says that she thinks that Tanya's like kind of looking for approval and just looking for a friend. And maybe that stems from experiences in her childhood in the way that most people are a series of experiences from their childhood that ultimately affect their personality today. I think it does give a little bit of light to Tanya, and especially in the fact that when Tanya and the Mean Girls really start arguing, it gets brought up. Tanya brings up, like, I'm done with it. You guys are making fun of me and having fun with me. And you know what? Fine. But I did well in today's mission and it's crossing a line. You guys are still trashing me. I'm done with it.
She says literally that she is basically like looking for their approval. Like she wants to be a member of the team. She wants to do well. She wants to win. And as we keep talking about, she thinks that she did well today, but nobody else is feeling the same way. And when she says to Veronica, she's like, I want to prove myself. Veronica's basically like, well, you've already had your chances. It's like, geez, Louise, like it is not, this is not going well whatsoever. Tanya in real life, should give up and walk away and have nothing to do with the three of these women, but they are trapped on a team together and there's nothing you can do. Like, this genuinely has to be the season where that Mean Girls title like solidifies,
It
because it is
is.
just them on Tanya.
Yeah, this is definitely where it was like, oh, Rachel, Veronica, and Tina have been besties for all of challenge history, right? But no, it really solidifies here. It's where everyone firmly locks that in as a group. And for Tanya, like, I understand, yeah, she's on the team with them, but also they're the three other veteran women. Like, it's not as if she could go and be friends with, oh, Katie's over here who she's friends with, or she could be friends with Coral, she could be friends with whoever. No, it's like these are the three vets, and otherwise it's like Jamie and Shavonda, like, I guess she could go be friends with. Her and Julie aren't particularly close, so they're her peers. Then they are just firmly rejecting her. She feels completely ganged up on. And Veronica drops, you must have a childhood complex about people ganging up on you, because we're not ganging up on you. I was like, oh boy. Yeah, not Veronica's best moment.
No. And like the best, again, the best Tanya has is like Dan, who seems to offer some comfort to her, but also is like in good with the Mean Girls group. Yes, he has conflict with Tina, but like at least with Veronica and Rachel, he's close with them. So
Yeah.
it's nice that he's offering some support at times, but it's not working. Again, in any other scenario, not in a game like this, Tanya would just never have anything to do with these people. But not only is it this season, but she's cast on seasons very actively right now and will
Yep.
be for seasons to come with the same people. So
I don't really know what Dan is supposed to do. He's given her the advice of like, stop trying. They're not your friends. Like, stay away from them.
yeah,
Just find a new home. And I think that's probably difficult in this situation for Tanya, but Dan's not wrong. She's putting a lot of stock in people that put literally zero in her. So when she like storms off and then starts following them again, it's kind of a really good analogy of like how this goes. Like, they make Tanya so angry, and yet she keeps coming back.
yeah. Anything else on this for now, or I think because we have something else to get to.
Oh boy. Let's
We'll
do
come
something
back.
else.
Yeah, we will certainly be coming back to this. It comes back into play in a very big way in the next round. But first, we have to get through this men's round. And before we can even get to the next challenge and then the Inferno that we ultimately get, we are going on one of the many night outs, the drunken escapades of these people. As you flagged up, there's been a lot of clips of that throughout the season. Darrell specifically refers to the antics they get up to as swapping lips and smacking bellies.
Whoa, I would like to hear more.
Need
What is going
more
on?
information, maybe. But the drama all comes to a head here, as the way that they get to and from the club is in the van. And so we see the good guys van picking them all up. They're all drunk out of their mind. This is a clip that you have seen the front side of every single time you've seen a clip of the best moments in challenge history, but it's what's happening behind this front facing picture of Brad screaming loudly into the camera, looking like he is just like about to go to war. It's what's happening behind him that is causing this conflict.
Oh, yes. All of a sudden, apparently some nameless person yells, "Give Brad a wedgie!" And The Miz, he's not one to disappoint the fans. So he obliges, goes ahead, and tears Brad's underwear to the point where Brad then helps him put it over his own neck and head and says the famous line of, "Now it's a necklace." So it is absolutely insane. That had to have hurt. And at first, everyone is haha, hee hee, giggling. This is so funny. Isn't this great? Until Brad decides suddenly that actually this was a great sign of disrespect, and he gets absolutely pissed off.
Yeah, he realizes what just happened. He realizes that his underwear has now been ripped. Like, I don't know, he must have like sat back down and settled in a little bit, and he was like, something's different down there. To the point where he's going to get out of the van and to start to, take his anger out on the car next to them, the people all around. Not, he's not hitting anybody around them,
I
at
mean,
least not right now that we can
I think he
see.
shoved Derek into the van.
That might have
Like,
happened.
firmly through him.
What I was more interested in and confused about was Brad's appearance during all of this, because now, so he has no shirt on and his pants are firmly below his butt. So the underwear was clearly holding everything exactly where he wanted it to be. And now I don't know. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He doesn't know what to do with his wardrobe. And so he's walking around just in a very drunken state right outside the van with, again, like the shorts are still on him, but they are covering the front and
But
under
like,
the butt
are they?
as I think so. And that's what we have to work with here.
Yeah, Brad is like tearing his shirt off. His jeans seem to me to be around his knees. And so I was like, is Brad hanging hog just screaming? Like, he is absolutely losing his mind. And the thing is, no one's taking him seriously because until this point, this has all been in good fun. And so they're all continuing to laugh and laugh. And Brad gets more angry and more angry. And it's just this cycle because no one has recognized that, oh, things have changed. This is no longer a joke.
We end up going back to the house with very angry Brad, who kind of just like jumps over like into his bed. He's just like again drunk and doesn't know what to do with himself. You have your Mrs. of the world and Derek's of the world who are all like just blown away that this is getting to this point because everyone gets wedgies. We're out with the boys. The boys give each other wedgies and who knows what else. And so there's just a lot of chaos going on. And Brad is just not taking it. He says, I don't remember. I didn't write down if this was in confessional or to him. But there's a line where he says, you're a meathead. Congrats. Don't put your hands on my underwear.
Yeah, the never put your hands on my underwear was a great line. Like, that's the line we got. That's
Yeah.
do not cross it.
So that's that. Did we do it justice talking through this iconic moment in challenge history? Is there any
I
more that
think
we should get
so.
into?
No, I feel like now it's a necklace is it's a short but sweet moment. It lives on infamously to this day. Kind of, why hasn't it been recreated? I feel like we could do this again.
We shouldn't do this again. We shouldn't
No,
be
probably not.
touching each other's underwear. Maybe ever, but especially today. That's not gonna fly. But in concept, kind of funny. So of course, now it's again Abram and Miz that both need the life shields. So a lot on the line here. Miz doesn't usually have a hard time with winning a life shield, so we'll see how this one goes. The next challenge is called What a Drag, which, hey, we're having a drag race, not that drag race, a different drag race, where the two teams are going to be racing alongside each other, speeding in this car. But the catch is that they have to stop their car right before they get to an entire like wall of champagne glasses stacked on top of each other. If they hit that, they will then get the slowest time of anybody that's raced so far, plus 5 minutes as their penalty.
Yeah, which when every single person is getting scores of like 14 seconds, that is an enormous penalty. I feel like these penalties are not weighted properly per challenge, but it is basically if you get a penalty and like whichever team gets more penalties will 100% lose this no matter what.
Yes, and we're going to see how that comes into play, although it did take a while to get there, specifically because CT somehow breaks his car and they didn't have a backup. So now, after like 2 rounds of competition, we are suddenly only using one car, one lane, and one set of glasses. So that's that. So it's gonna slow things down a little bit, but yeah, I'm just like sitting here waiting. Who's gonna hit the glasses? Who's gonna hit the glasses? Veronica maybe is gonna do it. No, she taps the glasses with her car, but does not knock everything over. So that is good. It's ultimately going to be Landon that hits the glasses and knocks them down, and basically, right, loses for his team. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, it's not even close. As soon as
Yeah.
Landon hits it, it's over. It's 100% confirmed. Veronica gets so lucky the way that she 100% hits the wall. The entire wall of glasses like shakes and shivers, and yet none of them fall. She really, really, really was pushing her luck, but no, it was Landon who was like, "I'm gonna drive as fast as I can, break super last minute, and boom, everything comes crashing down."
Just like his drunken escapades in the next episode. I don't know. Derek did horrible in this also compared to all of the other, 15 seconds,
Yeah, I
14
mean,
seconds. He takes like 25 seconds, but it doesn't matter if somebody DQs. So
yeah,
that's
exactly. I wondered if maybe Derek actually went after Landon in real time, and so it's like,
perhaps.
I could take a minute and a half. It doesn't matter as long as I don't hit these glasses.
Right. Notably, Tanya did well as far as everybody was concerned, and she feels the fakeness coming off of everybody as they all hug and congratulate her, because the Mean Girls are at this point trying to keep their team calm and strong, and not have the drama, but of course that's not totally possible, so they're trying. CT ends up winning the life shield for the badasses, and the Miz ends up winning for himself on the good guys side of things. And so now that the Miz has won, he needs to find someone else to go into the Inferno in his place.
This is crazy. The third time The Miz has been nominated, and yet the third time he will not be going into the Inferno.
Yeah, I mean, you say crazy, but also like not unexpected by any means. He goes into these missions with the utmost confidence in himself, and they keep picking him, thinking that maybe this time, but no,
Yeah.
he is a strong player.
Even the one he doesn't win, Landon takes his spot. So it's like The Miz has all facets of this game covered.
Yeah. When it comes down time to pick who's going to go in, it ultimately ends up being Brad. They didn't really know what to do, how to pick a name fairly without drama, so they kind of pick out of a hat. Funny here because we get some early signs of Darrell knowing the game. And I say early signs, even though this is his third season,
I was like,
because
what?
he's not on the show a lot. Unfortunately, we've
It's
talked
so
about
annoying.
this. He's there, but he's not there. But he was talking about how he knows that he performed not the best today, but he also is not volunteering himself to go in. So
Yeah, he knows he's performing the worst on the team overall, I think. But Darrell, thank God for Darrell, because I would say this is something that he has maintained to this day. Like, I am not volunteering myself. And that comes, I think, in season 40 when Derek volunteers to go in, and Darrell's like, thanks, Derek. I wouldn't do it for you, but good luck. So it's always been Darrell, and I love seeing as early as this part of the challenge where so many people are putting themselves in bad positions for no reason. Darrell is still fully like self-interested.
Uh-huh. Yep. We are about to get to an Inferno game. That is an Inferno game, a challenge elimination game that we still get to this day. We are here at the debut, unless I'm forgetting, of Balls In.
Balls In, it is the first, and it's a good one. I would say this is a very good premiere for a classic. Balls In, Mike obviously is going to save himself, so this ends up being Abram versus Brad, but that's a good matchup. These are some big boys.
They are. The only problem for Brad is that one of them is legitimately shouldn't pass the test to get out here.
Yeah.
So it's hard to match up with that, even if you're both strong. And that's exactly what Brad runs into. It ends up being not close. It ends up being where Abram gets 3 points on his turns on offense, and Brad only gets 2, but close to getting that third.
Yeah, it was well fought. I think what shocked me the most was when Abram says that he's a peaceful guy, but when in a fiery pit of sand, a switch flips. And I'm like, I don't think that's the only time the switch flips. I feel like it's on a trigger. Like, that thing will flip often, unfortunately.
I mean, we saw him throw glassware out of the kitchen, but
Yeah.
a week ago in this season. So Veronica is talking in confessional about how it's crazy how testosterone driven this Inferno is. Like, it's just like like really kind of uncomfortable.
And the testosterone does not end when the Inferno does.
No, it does not. Tension is hot. Brad is going to be eliminated here, of course, meaning Abram wins. And Abram is going to talk his shit, and not everyone's going to take kindly to that.
No. Darrell does not, and I gotta say, I loved Darrell here. Where you know what, I don't think losing your temper is a good thing, but at the same time, when Darrell tells Abram, Abram says basically like, "Who else wants to fuck with me?" And Darrell goes, "I do, and I'll beat your ass any day, and you know it, you little poodle." I was like, "Do it, Darrell." Do it.
Someone has to. But yeah, tension was hot here. Look, we just came from a elimination that was like these two men throwing each other around to try to get the ball in. That's what Balls In is. And so it was competitive elimination back and forth. Both teams probably thought that their person was going to come out on top. And so when Abram wins and he's celebrating, the good guys aren't going to take too kindly to that. So But Abram is going to stick around. Brad will be hugging his team goodbye from the other side of the cage. Jamie's crying, saying how much he deserves to be there. They all think Brad was one of their best players. Look, Brad, plenty more time to compete on the challenge, just not here.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? It's Brad's time to go. He said he wasn't going to be screwed by an alliance this season, and I kind of thought it was going to happen to him again, but it actually was just completely luck of the draw.
Yeah. Yep, it really was. I guess you could say somewhat of a rough, maybe embarrassing way for him to go out with the underwear, but hey, iconic challenge moment. You,
Yeah,
you need to have some. So,
yeah. Well,
um,
and don't worry if you could not guess how the next episode was going to open. Uh, Everyone's really drunk again, and guess what? There's another fight.
yep. Sorry though, really quick. Brad, 8
Oh,
total seasons before Vendettas when he comes back. So this is only the second. So just wanted to throw that in there. That again, we're only just getting started with Brad.
oh, for sure.
Plenty more to come. Yes, everyone is getting into another fight. Not everyone. Some people are getting into another fight to start off this third round of episodes here. And this time it is Landon and it is Derek, and they are just going at it because boys will be boys. Am I right?
This is so scary every time that they're doing this. All of a sudden, they're just drunk. They decide to fight. And sometimes it seems like it's getting too real. It's, on seemingly kind of like a dirt road. So it's not the hardest of places. But at the same time, they're starting to get really dangerous. Eventually, Landon pins Derek, and Derek's ear is coming off.
Yep. Derek was told by whoever was nearby, yeah, you're going to need stitches for that. Ultimately, correct. He needs to go and see, probably goes to the hospital, I assume,
He does.
unless they had a medic on site, but or whatever. Probably goes to the hospital, gets stitches, comes back with his ear fully bandaged up. So,
You know who
yeah.
else almost needs stitches?
Who?
Is Landon when he is getting home, walking around drunk, and Dan does an extremely bad job of spotting him, almost dropping him all the time on these cement stairs that Landon is just fumbling all over the place. It was like cartoonish how blackout he was.
It was bad. It was really, really bad. And so, yeah, he eventually does, assisted by others, make his way upstairs and into his bed where he fully just passes out, face down. The shirt that he ripped off is still gone. He's in his jeans. And so, as he is laying in his bed, some of the other guys in the house are going to take this opportunity to do what I imagine happens in every college dorm. I haven't been there myself. But yeah, break out the markers. Let's start drawing.
Yeah, time to write in permanent marker all over everyone. Can't say I've never did this as a child,
Yeah,
but
but is
maybe.
is what you wrote as like homophobic as they tend to get on these types of like this scenario?
No, did
No.
I maybe? Okay, I did not. Did someone maybe draw a penis on someone's forehead? Like maybe that's happened.
Yeah, I will say I feel like there's a difference. Like drawing a penis because like what else are you gonna draw? A penis is funny to draw. Compared to like the phrase enter penis here with an arrow pointing down to Landon's butt. And then also was I seeing things? I couldn't get a good paused screenshot, but it looked like they were drawing like a heart on his back with like Karamo and Dan's name in it.
Oh, I
So
didn't see
just like
that either.
throwing the queer men into
Oh,
like a
fun.
love thing on with Landon. Again, I'm just like that. Nothing else we could write here.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, it's not super shocking.
But we're not going to end there with just drawing things on Landon's back. No. Because Derek gets back from the hospital after just getting these stitches in his ear, and he says, "I just got stitches in my ear." And Landon's got some marker on his back. That's not good enough. Derek goes, grabs a pair of shears, and takes it to Landon's head. Shaves off some head,
It's my head.
some,
Whoa.
shaves off some hair from the back of Landon's head and calls it a night. We'll see what happens when Landon wakes up in the morning.
Absolutely. Oh my God. I was like, there's going to be another real fight because just shaving a bald spot on someone's head, feel like that's another line where the marker can be erased pretty quickly, but that's going to take a little while to grow back. And so when Landon wakes up and is just the most giggly man I've ever seen and finds it so funny, I was like, you got lucky.
Yeah, I'm also sitting here like, oh, hi, Landon. Hi, Landon. Good for
Yeah.
you. Yeah, he's a cutie.
That big smile.
Yeah, that's a good smile. So let's talk about it. But Landon wakes up smiling and laughing, and he finds Derek, and he's like laughing with Derek. He's like, What'd you do? Why is my hair missing? And let me look at your ear. You're right over there. They were just playing around, not the end of the world. But they are going to try to fix this up for Landon a little bit. And by that, I mean make it so much worse. But Landon's happy with it, with the new haircut he gets out of all of this.
Yeah, the Miz pushes Landon into getting what he says is a skullet. And so I have spent all of the years from when this aired until today thinking this was a skullet. And I Googled it just to double check. And no, it turns out a skullet is where you shave the front half of your head and just have the back half of the mullet, which is like the long hair.
Oh.
So I was in fact incorrect. And so I guess by comparison, great hairstyle for Landon. The double mohawk, not that bad.
I iconic, if nothing else, right? Like you think
Extremely.
back to Landon on the challenge, and you're probably picturing him with this haircut, where yes, he, as they call it, just like a landing strip down the middle. Well, no, Dan has a funny way of putting it. Says that it's a landing strip for dumbass airlines. Uh, And so, yeah, they just shave all the way down the middle of his head, reverse mohawk, whatever you want to call it. And so the sides of his head still have a bunch of hair, and it almost looks like he has like pigtails in the front of his head, strangely, just based on the shape of everything. And he's happy with it. So he keeps it in confessionals. He's keeps it for probably the rest of the season. I can't remember if it gets adjusted, but for
Yeah,
now,
that'll be a fun tan line.
yeah, I'm sure. Also, before we get too far away from this, Darrell, another Darrellism, called the fight between Derek and Landon. He says they were doing their grabbing booties again.
Look, sometimes they're grabbing booties. That
Yeah.
is I did giggle.
Yes. I thought, grabbing booties was something else that people do on the challenge, but apparently it's this. So let's see. This episode, though, really going to be much more. We talked about were we going to wait all the way to the end? Who knows? We didn't, obviously, but the Tanya, Tina, Rachel, Veronica drama is still very relevant here. Julie and her connection with Tanya, though not much and not strong. Julie feels bad for Tanya, is like offering a little bit of like some support, but not a ton. And again, that's going to be the big story as we get into these two episodes and close out this batch.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We're gonna compete in some challenges in which the next one is called Riddle Me This, where they have to solve a riddle, aka already know the answer to a riddle, which is the classic. You have there's different versions with a sheep, a cow, whatever, but essentially you have a bale of hay, a cow, and a wolf, and you have to get them all across the river. But if you leave two things alone, they might eat each other. So you need to make sure to do it in the exact correct order. And this is very quickly solved by people who either already know the riddle or who are just decently smart, Dan. So that at least is solved quickly.
Yeah, there's a couple other things that do cause some intrigue here, despite the riddle being solved, as you are mentioning. They have to paddle across the lagoon with their arms, no actual paddles. So that's kind of funny to
True.
watch. Some drama gets kicked in when the badasses are. They start off strong, but eventually their boat is filling with water and they don't know what to do about it. And they're at one point going to completely block the dock on the opposite side of the lagoon so that the good guys, when they pull up, can't get out of their boat essentially and get their giant whatever they had at the time off. So, some other stuff going on.
Yep, yep. So that's the thing is they are paddling furiously, and that's going to be a little bit of problem for the badasses. I think they have long been a team that is, fighting really hard with the strength and maybe not thinking it through all the time, which starts literally sinking their boat here.
Yeah. Yep. They end up not being able to recover after the boat's sinking, and just the team is not getting on the same page. They must have realized, halfway through this challenge, it was over. And you can see even when all said and done, and they have officially lost, that they're still arguing a little bit. But I think a couple of cooler heads were somehow prevailing to say, let's just move past this one, put your hands in, let's say the word team, and get back on the same page.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So, Women's Day for nominations. And let's see who's going to be going into this elimination. And also, will there be any shenanigans this time? Are
Ooh.
we going to play the game again of who says their name, the other team's name first, and then you can switch your vote? Are we doing that again?
Yeah, Rachel goes to the good guys and is like, I just want to make sure you guys are going to cheat again. You guys are going to play this fair. And they all agree. But I'm like, that would tell me they're really scared of having Veronica thrown in. And so if I am the good guys, I'm going to preemptively change my vote to Veronica.
This is so Rachel Robinson, like
Yep.
the way she like storms over there, because even CT points out to her, it's not against the rules. Like if they do that, they can do that. We can do it next time if we're the ones that say the name first. Like it's allowed. But they've all just gotten on this moral high ground of that's not how we're playing this game. We're playing fairly, so don't do it. And she gets them to say they're not doing it. I was really hoping they were going to do it, but they don't. So
Yeah. This is Rachel. And this is why, for me, Rachel has never been my favorite mean girl.
yeah, fair. Um, but yeah, it's going to ultimately end up being Julie that gets picked by the badasses and Tanya that gets picked by the good guys. Because the good guys, I think at this point are just viewing Tanya as like a weak player, you know, the perception from her own team, from their team. So they feel like, you know, whoever they do end up whoever ends up going in could just be Tanya.
I don't even think Tanya's a weak player. I just think that the other three options are Rachel, Tina, and Veronica, all who are pretty much viewed as pretty strong players.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just where we're at this point. So
Yeah, I would say that Tanya generally on a season is definitely ranking in the top half of women, if not higher.
yeah, don't disagree. And we are going to see again just more of the badasses like faking it with Tanya, the mean girls. Rachel's like doing her hair, and Tanya's like aware. She's like, they're all kissing my ass. They just want to play cool. Look, like if Tanya ends up winning the life shield at this next challenge, she has to pick one of them to go in.
Yep.
So I don't know what, you know, they can really hope to accomplish here by, you know, playing nice, or are they trying to out nice one another, or
I mean, they don't want Veronica. They don't want Veronica. They don't want Tanya to start throwing like Beth. They don't want, any other stupid things in the future. Could they like screw her over in some way? I feel like it's just like, all right, let's just have her happy. It'll make us more tens of thousands of dollars in the long run.
Mhm.
And at the same time, like, I don't know, how do you have that much energy just to be mean for no reason?
well, let's go back in time and interview these three because they had it. And yeah, so the tension on that side of things, of course, is Tanya going to get a life shield? Boy, does she come close. It ends up, we'll talk about this challenge, but it ends up being like a 2-second difference that Tanya was 2 seconds slower than Derek and thus does not get it. But let's talk about time to ride.
Yeah, they have to ride a little mini motorbike along one of two paths, one that is straight and narrow versus another that is much wider but also much longer and has a couple of bends to it. This is going to prove literally impossible on the straight and narrow path. I feel like they always do this where it's not set up stably enough where it's a realistic option.
Yeah, of course. But not going to scare everybody on the team here. Abe is going to be the first one to go, and he says, I can do this. And of course, falls right off. So quickly, everybody realizes, no, we can't do that. Take the longer path. But the skinnier path there exists for a reason. And as we're going to see with one Julie, that, you know, when it comes down to it, if you want to go for it and have a chance of like securing yourself that life shield, you got to try it. And Julie goes before Tanya. So she says, Tanya may try to do it. I have to try to do it. Julie's also going to go for the shorter, skinnier path. Also because she says the road to God is straight and narrow.
Yes, so you got to take the road to God.
Yeah.
If only this was like better built and it was actually stable. But as soon as you get on that thing, it starts tipping in one direction, you start tipping in the other. It's not actually possible. It's not as if these people just had really bad steering and drove off of one side. It's like I don't believe they tested, like a single person in testing got across this.
Yeah. Really can't imagine how they did it. Or they just had like one professional on the squad that showed it could
Before.
be done and that was it. But I don't know. Mike, also a highlight here. Mike the Miz gets DQ'd after completing the challenge because he heard the rules that if you drive into the water, you're DQ'd. But apparently that even counts if you've already finished the challenge and you just drive off the edge of it because you want to be silly, or according to
Yeah.
CT, a meathead.
Yeah, which I'm gonna be honest, I would not have assumed was a rule either. So probably would have made the same mistake as Miz, but oops.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like once I'm done, I'm done. Like the horn sounds, and then I go. Like we're not in the game anymore. But hey, rules are rules. So yeah, Derek does really well. Gets 57 seconds for his course. Tanya got 59 seconds, so Derek will win the life shield for the badasses, and Landon wins it for the good guys. Neither of those wins are going to affect the Inferno, so it is going to be Julie versus Tanya.
Yes, Julie versus Tanya. They will be competing in the Inferno patchwork. We have seen versions of this pretty recently as well, where you have to pull a bunch of different little velcroed patches off of your opponent's jumpsuit. But on this one, you don't have to just pull them. You have to actually take those patches and put them in a basket. And so that is really going to be the determining factor in this win.
Yeah, look, this isn't dodgeball, so I can get back to talking about this. Looks fun. Because they're hooked up to like this bungee system that once you get the patches off, then you swing back to put the patches in that bucket you were talking about. And so, yeah, little and look, if I think it's fun, Tanya thinks this is like the best day of her life. Because Tanya is going to get to put her hands on her opponent, and that is the physical elimination she was looking for here, maybe just to even get some aggression out, as she says she's going to, because she wanted to pretend that Julie was Veronica, because she
Yeah.
wanted to pretend like she wanted to kill her.
She says that Julie is looking at her as if she is the devil, and she is looking at Julie as if she is Veronica, to which I think Tanya would say same difference. This is so funny to watch them play. They are just absolutely grappling at each other, pulling each other, throwing each other around, because they're also on this like weird pulley system as well in harnesses. So it definitely is a pretty decent elimination, and Tanya narrowly wins by one patch.
Yeah. One patch is all it takes. There is the difference between Julie going home or staying here. Of course, ultimately, she is going to go home here, and I think we were just talking about this earlier. Julie, and this narrative of how strong she is on her team, everyone's pretty upset. And we saw Jamie's performance before, not the best. So I can believe it. I can understand it. But a lot of people are upset to be losing Julie at this point. And she's, I don't know. She seems fine. She's gonna go home and see her husband. I think she's okay.
Yeah, she said her head was there anyway. So I think Julie has done enough of these challenges where this is not necessarily everything for her anymore. But she's competitive, so she does to hate lose. She hates losing.
Julie will be back next season, and then that's it.
I know, it's so wild. Only one more time with Julie.
Yeah. Let's see if we make the most of it, or if she makes the most of it. But that is going to be it for Julie. Of course, that's not it for her on TV. I know I've talked about this. Notably, she comes back for her Real World Homecoming season. So that exists not on Paramount Plus anymore, but that exists somewhere in the world.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, indeed. I was going to say not her best showing, but most of her showings aren't her best showing.
True.
Well, with this early elimination here, we'll see. Maybe if anybody is potentially coming for her spot on the Mount Rushmore, simply by lasting longer. We'll see.
Who knows?
But Julie's out here, and we close this episode with Tanya wanting to go out and celebrate her win with whoever is willing to go out and celebrate with her, which of course is not everybody.
Yeah, not everyone indeed. It ends up being Tanya and like most of the boys. It seems like all of the mean girls go home, maybe even most of the girls on the good guys teams. But regardless, you see Tanya, she's dancing with Derek, she's dancing with Dan, she's gonna have a good time. She's not gonna let it affect her for now.
For now. We'll see. We have a couple more episodes to go in this season, and it's been chaotic and fun and chaotic every step of the way so far. So kind of imagine the last couple episodes will be as well. We'll see.
Yep.
But let me check in one more time on confessionals here, where Mike still firmly at the top of the list, 49 confessionals, higher than the next highest person, Abram, and Julie, both tied with 39 each. So he's got 10 more than the next highest person. Again, tracks for Mike or Coral. But then at the bottom of the list of active players, you have Darrell with 14, Shavonda with 15, CT and Jamie have 19. But yeah, look, I said we've called it out. We just called it out at the beginning. It's really always like they're players of color that are down at the bottom.
Yep, they do a really bad job with this. In particular, I'm looking at Darrell, who is a two-time winner, a liked character for sure, if not loved. I was not necessarily watching as early as Darrell debuted, but I remember liking Darrell, and I know I love Darrell now, so I am very frustrated that we don't have more of him on our screens at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's making it this far into the season. We'll see how he fares in the rest of the season so far. But, if he does well here, you would really expect to see more. But we'll get to that conversation when we fully wrap up his story and the story of the season. Anything else today for part 2?
No, I'm excited to get to part 3, wrap up season 10. That'll be so crazy. And
Yes.
Yeah,
Wrap up era 1. So
oh my God.
crazy. All right. Well, hope you all enjoyed this second part recap of the Inferno 2. Hope all of your underwears are firmly situated where they should be and not ripped out and over your head. Hope there's nothing written on your back and your hair hasn't been shaven off in the time since you've started this podcast. If that is all the case for you, then you're in a much better position than these challengers. Scally, where can people check you out?
Ooh, people can find me over on the We Know Love Island feed talking about Beyond the Villa. People can also find me on Twitter at Brian_Scally, on Twitch at twitch.tv/bscally, on Blue Sky at Brian Scally. And then it's been out for a little bit now, but you can go check out. I joined the Altar Call podcast to talk about the Trader season forecast. So you can go check that if you missed it.
All righty. Of course, check me out on the Diary Room podcast every week with Amon Adwin talking through all different Big Brother players across the show's history. Lots of fun over there, going through the bracket, trying to find the best player in BB history. You can find all of our social medias and find us anywhere that you're looking for us online. Check the episode descriptions on your podcast player to get those exact links if you're looking for them. Check us out on Patreon, of course, patreon.com/the Free Agents Podcast for all of our bonus episodes every single week. And all of these episodes that you're listening to right now, early, ad-free, all that good stuff over there. Otherwise, right now, the Challenge 41 pretty much underway. Episode 0 has aired. So make sure that you've checked out our recap of that. And then next week, episode 1, we're really getting into it for the newest season of the challenge, season 41, Vets and New Threats. Gonna be, I'm sure, a fun, bumpy ride. We'll see. Hopefully lots of fun. Just as we can only dream that it's as much fun as this season. Probably won't be, but that's because this season is such a high bar. It's the Inferno 2. All right. Let's get out of here. Thank you all again for checking this one out. We will be back very soon with all of the Challenge 41 coverage and closing out Era 1, closing out the Inferno 2 with part 3. Until then, take care, and we hope to see you all in the future.